KRBE. Let's get started. It's the Roula and Ryan Show.
Wake up, fool!
Hey, wake up!
It's about to get all stupid up in here!
Right here. Featuring Eric.
Eric, he is a bad, bad man.
Special K.
The big red K.
Are you threatening me?
I'm waiting for you.
And Sam.
I am a wuss! I am a wuss!
You've waited long enough. How the heck do you pronounce this woman's name?
Roula. And
Ding dong.
Ryan. 104.1 KRBE.
Good morning, Houston, Texas. It's the Roula and Ryan Show. Hello. Welcome to your Thursday with Roula, Ryan, Eric, Special K, and Sam at 6 o'clock on the dot. And it's Thursday, October 3rd of 2024. And unfortunately, I don't know how to handle this feeling. We are not in the playoffs anymore.
Wait.
And I don't know what to do with my life.
Not on October 3rd. I mean,
October 3rd
We've been
is
knocked
so
out
crazy.
before,
But-
the World Series, but not.
Not this early.
Not like 2 days as we stepped into October.
No big
That's
deal.
it.
I think
Like, what the heck?
I think my favorite listener line caller, screw you, clown. She sums it up the best. She left a message this morning.
Big sigh. Ugh, I hate baseball right now. Baseball's over for the season. I don't know about any World Series. I don't care. It doesn't feel like a real Houston October if we're not going to have baseball. The tears. We'll get them next year. Eric, that was very somewhat nice message. You know, good luck to AJ Hinch, I guess.
You left AJ a nice message.
I did stories on Instagram, and I was nice. I will admit I had to do it twice.
You're like, I can't
go
believe
back,
myself.
discard message, and then I did a nicer one. It happens, whatever.
Oh, God.
Basketball season starts in 2 weeks. All right, go Rockets.
Well, actually,
and football's still kicking ass. So
Yeah.
that's true. And actually, I was telling Eric yesterday, guys, the Royals, who were not expected to do anything at the end of the season, knocked out the Baltimore Orioles, who had one of the best records. And then the Tigers beat us. So,
and they scored only one run in 2 games, and they're like young and they're hitters.
yeah. So
choked.
if the Yankees don't go all the way, it's going to be even more crushingly humiliating to Yankees fans. Because 2 big dogs are not in the race anymore, so it's a very easy path for them now to
This
get
is
to the end.
easiest path.
If they don't win this year, they're the worst team ever. I just say the worst team ever. I'm just saying Yankees fans are so cocky about like, we're the best. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you know, y'all were playing us. We swept you last time we played you in the playoffs.
You really think that this is going to be a high-rated World Series when we get to that point?
Oh, no, there's no World Series, Ryan. Baseball finished.
No, it is over for us.
It's over. There's not going to be a World Series.
I'm not going to watch.
The
If it's the
Astros aren't in,
Dodgers-
people don't know what to do with themselves.
If it's the Dodgers Yankees, it'll be huge.
Well, yeah.
They'll do like
I wonder
20
if Big Poppy's like, wait, what? We don't get to go to Houston again this time? Oh, man. I really wanted to eat some good food.
Every year I get some good Tex-Mex and barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Kevin, what's that guy's name? Kevin, the guy that's like the commentator.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin,
I
oh
never
my
know.
God. He even does football. Why can't I remember his
Such
name?
a boring name. He's like one of those guys you don't really
It's
notice.
A-Rod, Big Poppy. It used to be Mike
Frank
Thomas,
Thomas.
but then they
okay.
switched him out
Derek
for
Jeter.
Derek Jeter. And then,
Kevin, oh my God.
I don't know. Isn't that funny? I can see him, but I don't know his last name. But he's the guy that's always like the straight shooter guy at the table. He's like the non-former athlete.
Yeah, he does
Anyway, that
all
guy's
those-
probably like, oh man, that favorite place. They probably had places picked out already. They like to stay because they've been doing this for 7 years. Hey, when we go to Houston, by the way, can y'all make sure y'all Airbnb me that house we had last time? I like it.
It's kind of funny, though.
Oh,
Is
no.
it Kevin Burkhart?
That's
That's
it,
it,
Kevin
okay.
Burkhart.
It's funny, though. Now they can go to Cleveland or Detroit. Woo, those are some fun
Exciting.
Those are good times there. So, oh well. Onward and upward.
I'm just wondering
Anyone else
if
have anything else
that's
going
the
on?
last game we saw with
Sam, you do anything exciting last night?
Yeah, Sam, what's up?
What'd you do?
What did I do? Oh, Santiago got this little train set. That's where my
Oh,
life's at.
yeah.
So I was playing with the little train set. Thanks to Ryan.
Isn't that weird that like 2 days ago we were talking about that?
We
Yeah.
were. That's what I was
What?
saying. So it's what would you say? It's a wooden train.
It's like a Brio. So
It's kind of like Thomas the Tank Engine.
But-
train.
Thomas
but
the
it
train with the
predates that.
magnetic.
So-
It's kind of like that feel of
stuff.
those wooden
yeah.
trains.
So you
Yeah.
can make it any way you want to. And Santiago was at a friend's house last weekend, and he was like obsessed with this. And then we were here, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Eric! I told my mom to buy this for Santi for
'Cause
Christmas."
every kid wants that.
Yeah, I didn't think he would love it so much. And then Ryan was like, "Hey, we're getting rid of this train set." I was like, "Wait, what?" I would love that. So
Yeah.
that
There's
was my excitement.
You know what it
Nothing
There's
felt
a
like
table
playing
you
with
can get
trains.
for it.
it felt like the movie Toy Story because my fiance Jen, And she's really generous. She doesn't want to see anything go to waste.
Yeah.
Those were her kids' grandfather's train tracks. So they're over 70 years old. And they can
showing,
still be played. Think of all the
great
generations of kids that have got to
That's
play
cool.
with that.
I know.
So that's a neat
he was
feeling.
super
Did you
jazzed.
inspect the trains, Ryan? Make sure there's no, what was that paint stuff they had, the chips?
Oh,
back
the
there?
lead paint.
Splinters.
Oh, the lead paint.
No, it's not painted.
These are-
It's not painted.
It was
It's
like
like,
70 years ago. You got to make
Yeah.
sure.
There's a table, Sam, that I have for
Yeah.
my kids that go along with any kind of train set, but mostly wooden train sets, and it's pretty big, so I don't know how much space you would
This is
have.
wooden.
But one of my neighbors was moving, and they had that big table for the wooden train set. And they're like, "Do you guys want this?" And my kids were like, 3 and 4th time. I said, "Sure." And it is really fun, but it takes up a lot of space. But there's a table made for that kind of train set.
Especially their height.
Where Santiago, since he's only like 18 months, it is the perfect height for him.
Oh.
Because my son was only like 6 months old.
Yeah,
And my
I was
daughter
about to
was
say
like,
with it.
I don't know,
Yeah, buy that or tell your
2 and a
mom to.
half.
You could probably build one.
Build one. Who wants to take all that time?
Yeah, I just
Sam
put
likes
it on
building
the,
stuff.
I know. I just
Oh,
put
that
it on
would
the
be
floor,
really hard.
and then I just take it apart because then I can recreate a new train track.
Or you can shove
you know
it
what
away in
they're
the
like?
corner.
They've got
We're
the,
not
like,
using it.
the pegs that
Yeah.
hold them together. It's just cute, easy
Yeah.
fun, and it's better than holding an iPad.
You know what's so strange
but that
about
was my
'Cause he'll be doing that soon enough.
that was
so-
my crazy night.
And I don't think
Trains.
men
Choo-choo.
get this like women do. I don't know, Sam, if you're in this space. Like when Santiago was an infant, and he goes from infant to baby, and you know what that is.
Yes.
Infant to baby. People who have not had kids are like, well, they're all babies, aren't they? No, from infant to baby. Mom's like, oh, he's not an infant anymore. When your house gets overtaken with the stuff, you're like, oh, it's on my way, but you kind of like it that way because you know it's just easy for your kid. It's always like these phases of, oh, they graduated out of that. Because when we graduated out of that table, I was like, oh, they don't play with this anymore. Or what's that big plastic? I call it like the plastic jail. It's like a fence you can buy or like really big, thick. And they all latch together and makes like a little like kind of play area for them in the living room so
I've
they can
seen
stay
that.
contained.
It's like a pen for kids.
Yes.
Yeah. When
We call it
I had to
jail.
put that away for my son,
Uh-huh.
I was like, wow, this is like really it now. Like we don't need to contain him in here anymore.
You can't contain him in there anymore
Well,
because
it's
he would
just he's
climb
too
out of
big
it.
or doesn't want to be in there,
Yeah,
climbs
that's how
out of
Santi
it.
is,
And I'm just like, oh, like all these little phases of like little baby steps, literally of them growing up in this. Because to the average person, he's a toddler still, but when he
Right.
phases out of that, you're like, oh, my little boy's getting so big.
Well, I didn't think I was sentimental
Does he
or
play
that I would
toilet
have an
paper?
issue. Sometimes he does.
I
I
go in there
think.
and just roll it all out.
Yeah. My thing is the clothes. Like I wish someone told me how difficult it is to get rid of his baby clothes.
yeah.
I know.
That's what actually ruins me. That's what
So
makes me seem like
Could I
I'm a
make
soft
one
person.
suggestion to
Just
you?
save it and put it in case you have
I
another
am.
baby.
Yeah,
As the father of an adult child now, what we did, whether it be toys or clothes, we have my ex-wife and I have this keepsake box.
Yes.
And just something, if it was monumentally like a big part of their life, a favorite toy, like she's got one of her little Fisher Price people in there. We've got one of her outfits from when she was 3 months or 6 months old. You know, we got a little bit of here and there, and we have just this really cool keepsake box. Now you can just look at it, and it's her whole
And you should
life.
put
in
it up
increments.
the wall of faith. Like what was that? Meet the Fockers. I was watching this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
They had one for what was the name of the character? Gaylord.
Gaylord.
Yes.
I don't know, what was Greg? Greg, I think they called him.
But his real name was Gaylord
Yeah, they had a
Fokker.
wall. It was like his jockstrap from when he wrestled
Oh, yeah.
one time,
Oh,
and
my
all these
gosh.
things. And it's in this big box in the front. Yeah.
Do you remember the
living room.
I'm not
circumcision?
doing that.
Yeah, it's all in the fondue thing. Actually,
That is foul.
in about 30 minutes or less, we're going to do what's something that makes a person's house look cheap to you. So think about when you go to a house and you see something. You go,
Interesting.
there's a lot of chickens in here.
You mean like gaudy
But why the
tacky?
chicken?
Or like posters that aren't framed; they're just taped up.
Tacked up there with tack.
If you've got posters
And
in
you're
your
now a
living room,
22-year-old bachelor.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
if you're like a 30-year-old man and you've got posters in your living room, that's a failure to launch.
Especially, well, if it's not framed,
Right.
Yeah.
at least frame it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
make
would
it
think.
special.
If you just tape it up there. Or
Oh, man.
Tack it.
Just push pins in the wall. All right, coming up next
Left
in Celebrity
love.
Scoop, CJ Stroud has made national news, and it's not for something bad, and it's not for football. Wow. We don't know what that feels like. Our quarterback making national news, and it's not bad news because he got like
Is
too
that
many
massage parlor?
massages.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, that's amazing. We'll talk about that and give you more details on Save for Sabrina. Here's your weather for today.
All right, it is going to be sunshine, high in the low 90s, pretty much a carbon copy of yesterday. Right now, 72 degrees and 6:09 on the Roula and Ryan Show.
and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop on 104.1 KRBE.
It is brought to you by Taquerias Arandas. And if you have missed Say It with Sabrina and how exactly that works, we have got a 4-pack of sweet tickets for you to win to go to her show at the end of the month at Toyota Center and a ride to and from the show. That is the grand prize. It is 4 tickets in the KRBE suite and a ride to and from the show. All you got to do is say it for Sabrina. At 8 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday, we reveal a phrase. You need to make a note of the phrase, and then you got 4 chances to be caller 104 later in the day. Repeat back the phrase as we said it, and then you're a finalist. So the times are 9 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m., and 5 p.m. The phrase is revealed at 8 a.m. So those are the 5 times you got to think in your head. 8, 9, 12, 3, 5. Those are the times to be listening for sure if you want to say it for Sabrina.
What a great experience, too.
Say it.
Like if you win, you'll always have that memory, man. What a great experience.
Sabrina Carpenter is in the news today with CJ Stroud and others as Time magazine has listed them as the next list, the emerging leaders, superstars, advocates, just all around awesome
Up-and-comers.
people.
Unless you have a bad season, then you're off the list.
Exactly. CJ Stroud turns only 23 years old today.
Good Lord.
Oh, my
He is
God.
23 today.
He's just a baby.
That's
He
mind-boggling.
He is. Sabrina Carpenter makes the list for next big artist. CJ Stroud is on the list for Phenom because he's phenomenal.
Phenom. Wow.
He's phenomenal. Shabuzi is on that list with CJ Stroud. Olympic rugby player, which I started following during the Olympics, and I still follow Ilona Mayer. She's so funny.
She's the one on Dancing with the Stars.
She's fun. Sabrina Carpenter's on the list of artists, along with Ashley Park from Emily in Paris. Because can we talk about that? She's the real MVP. If you are not watching Emily in Paris, here's what you need to know about this one girl, Ashley Park. She is fluent in Mandarin. She is fluent in French. She speaks English. Apparently, she speaks Italian now. I don't know. And she sings amazingly. Now, what was the audition like for that girl? Like to find what was the all-call audition like for that girl? We need to find somebody who not only can sing. Slide it on back, Hollywood. Are you fluent in French? Oh, are you fluent in Mandarin? Can you also pull off some Italian? Oh, yeah, and of course your English is going to be on point. That is such a niche
And
question.
and you can be able to act.
Yes,
Yeah.
you need to be able to act.
What's that movie she was in? Sam, you watched it too, where she went to, was it Korea to try and find her birth parents or something? Aquafina was in it, I think, or was Aquafina in it?
Aquafina.
Maybe she wasn't in it.
I don't know, but Ashley Park
But it was
plays Emily's best
raunchy.
friend.
It was a really raunchy
Yeah.
comedy. It was pretty funny.
So she's on the list of artists while Sam looks that up, along with Nicola Coughlan from Bridgerton. She's Penelope Featherington. Cindy Crawford's daughter, Kaya Gerber, who has made a name for herself in the modeling world.
She was
Is
just
it
like
Joyride?
Yeah,
Was that the
Joyride.
movie?
I think that's a Joyride.
Oh, Kevin, your favorite.
That's good.
Get your Scottish accent on. Richard Gadd, who starred in the stories about him and Baby Reindeer, is on the list of innovators.
Oh, baby reindeer. Oh, this Irish.
Is it Irish?
It's Irish,
Do you
yes.
think he's a one-trick pony, though?
Oh, of course he is.
No matter
You
what,
only write
there's
your
no
life story once.
denying.
That's what I'm saying.
There's
You
no
only write your
denying
life
that
story
talent,
once.
though. I mean, to write, direct,
But if I
star,
was-
act.
If I was going to act, I would want to do a role that's about myself. Because
you
I know
seen
I
this-
could do it. Like,
Yeah, you
Terrible.
just have to be yourself.
He won 3 Emmys for it.
Terrible comedy. He can't do a joke
Oh, yeah.
for crap. No.
It's not like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, also Irish.
Yeah, can we
Is
put
she
cake in
Irish?
your face? Just like, hello.
Time magazine has a variety of different covers, and Sabrina Carpenter is one of those covers. The world's most influential rising stars. So that's what the top 100 next list. If you want to see the full 100, we're going to go through them painfully and peacefully. No, just go
the
time.com.
countdown show, they do the top 100 songs.
Do they have a list
first
of
of all, you don't know.
the top 100 descending stars?
Yeah, I'd like to see who was on the list last year. They should put that up there. Who got knocked off
Yeah,
or who's not in favor anymore. You know,
Oh,
so,
right.
a little comparison.
They love to build you up, knock you down, and hopefully
yeah.
bring you back.
Yeah. It's like the storyline of every soap opera. You build the characters up, and then you tear them apart.
Well, you got to put them together, get everybody excited that they finally made it. Super couple, and then we'll give you 2 weeks before we make you think you have a baby somewhere else. There's a
over.
baby somewhere else.
Yeah.
You wait 2 years for
fathered.
it to happen,
Right.
and then they last 2 more
And then when
We
they get
just want them to
pregnant,
be together.
the pregnancy could either last 3 weeks or 4 years.
yeah. And then that
It's
kid's at
never
15
realistic.
in a month.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
what-
yeah.
Like they did Modern Family. Remember they aged the girl?
With Lily?
They aged her up.
Yeah. I'm still shook from the first time I realized that was a thing in soap operas. When I was a kid, I came across The Young and the Restless when we were getting a new rug in our house. I remember my mom was waiting for the delivery guys to bring this rug. And it's so weird because I don't know why I had the TV on where the rug was supposed to go. And there was this, I didn't know what soap operas were. And it was this guy shoots another guy behind his desk and he falls to the ground and then he leaves. And then his friend comes in and then doesn't even realize the guy's behind the desk and he's doing something. And then the cops come in because they heard something or somebody called somebody and they go, freeze right there, you stare. He goes, what are you talking about? And then this guy was on the hook for shooting the guy behind the desk. He didn't know. And I remember telling my mom, oh my God, I don't want to turn off the TV yet for the rug guys because I need to know what happened. And then I was hooked on The Young and the Restless.
And you didn't find out for 5 months.
Probably not. But that's what the same people are still on that show. Like Victor Newman is still on that show. Nikki Newman is still on that show. Like the Newmans and Jabot Cosmetics. And it's all still the same thing.
And they don't age.
They don't, Sam.
My mom watches that show. That's the only reason why I can say this.
And Victor Newman's son, Nicholas Newman, that's the one that I got a slap in the face of reality of how soap operas work because he was 4 years old one episode and they turned him into a teenager. And then from teen, they turned him into like an early 20s and he hasn't aged since, I don't think. Does he have kids? I don't know. It's just so crazy. But even in today's world, they go by the soap opera way because if you're watching Emily in Paris, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I feel like they're using the soap opera method for the storyline in Emily in Paris. I'll just leave that right there.
Now that baseball's over, I can
start watching.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I watched pretty much every game except the games in the West Coast during the week.
Now you can have this voice.
So I had 100. I watched 150
He'll be fine.
games.
He has TikTok.
How many games?
I watched at least 140 to 50 games.
So you got to think that. I mean, my God, you must have watched like 300 hours of baseball.
I missed maybe 20 games.
Okay, still that's
because
a lot.
I couldn't watch all the West Coast games.
Well, you know what's
and
interesting?
now I got all this time to catch up on Netflix.
Everything else. So, unfortunately for our Stros, we've already mentioned it once, and we don't really want to act like it happened, but Stros are out. Bregman may have played his last game at the Juice Box. The Juice Box goes down with now 7 straight playoff games that we have lost in our own house.
Yesterday, Roula?
He wrote, thanks, Houston.
No, he was talking to the media, and he was wearing his Astros cap.
Yeah.
Not like Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole.
Oh, my God.
As soon as we lost the World Series, he didn't wear that. He just put on some other
He was
hat.
like, I don't work for this team anymore.
Yeah, but Bregman basically,
he was so savage.
To paraphrase, he's saying, hey, it's between my agent and the team, and that he loves the Astros. And Verlander's also saying that, hey,
money more, though.
He's not done. Verlander's saying he's not done pitching.
Well, if you...
He can say that all he wants.
If you are in shock... Yeah, I know. If you are in denial as I am, that it's only October 3rd and there's no more Astros baseball because we've been so lucky the last 7 years. Yeah. Last year, I was recovering from ankle surgery and I couldn't leave my house. So that's the first time in my life I watched every single Astros game where I got down all their nuances, right? Like Tucker will shuffle in the dirt, or Altuve always unvelcros and velcros his gloves and things like that.
Yep.
So I'm just glad that it didn't end this early last year, else I would have really felt empty. Because I feel like I earned this to watch the whole regular season. I need more than just 2 games postseason.
It just shows how hard it is to make it to the World Series.
It is.
Just to make it in the playoffs and then get to the World
I just want to say thank you to the Astros regardless because, you did give us an entertaining season, that's for sure.
Somebody said, why did I take a cheap shot at the Yankees? Not all Yankee fans are cocky. Well, the ones that aren't cocky need to get on TV more.
No.
Because all we see is just... We've had 28 championships, and you guys are the worst. You guys can't win in Yankee Stadium. Last time I checked, we swept the Yankees when the Astros had to play them.
If you're over like 35, 40, then you're more cocky because you've seen a lot of greatness with the Yankees, but they haven't won anything since 2009, I believe.
Really?
It's like I think about today, like I'm like, okay, these Astro fans that are like 22 years old, that's all they know.
Oh, my God, I know. Same with my kids.
They don't know anything but them winning.
Yeah, when they were good.
They didn't.
Back
when
in the
they
day.
were called the Lastros.
Just a few years ago, they didn't see them lose 100 games.
Nobody called them the Lastros except for you, Ryan Chase. I'm giving you side eye. You always love to shove that in there. You called them the Lastros.
That was back then. I was disappointed.
Never did anybody call them Lastros except you. I was going to all those games where we lost 100 games. I was going to all those games. You're like the Lastros. I go, you can't talk about them if you don't go to the game.
I know nothing about anything.
Thank you.
And Eric, our daughters are 13. Their entire memories of a baseball game for the Astros has been excitement.
Oh, yeah.
I told my 12-year-old yesterday, I said, guys, the Astros lost today. Okay, but when are we going to go to Astros game? I go, no, that's it. There's no more.
Okay, but like,
she goes, what? And I go, no, they're done. Their season's done. What do you mean after school? And I said, I mean, guys, that's how it works. They're in playoffs now, so they were supposed to win 2 games and they didn't. What? They were just totally shocked.
That's why people say like the Cowboy fans. Why people hate on Cowboy fans is because they act like they're the best in the world, and I mean they probably are, but they haven't won anything since '96.
Which is such a crazy number.
28 years.
I think they've won maybe 2 playoff games they've won since then.
Wow.
I remember drinking with my buddy. Shouldn't be drinking. I guess we weren't legal enough. But
Yeah. Oh, that never happens.
And we're like, we're going to enjoy this game when they were killing the Steelers. We're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
This, it might have happened for a while, but I thought maybe 3 years. Who knew 30 years later?
Wow.
Somebody made a point to remind us, Yuli Gurriel is still in the playoffs with Kansas City Royals.
Gosh.
That's pretty cool.
The Royals were not supposed to do much, and they beat the Baltimore Orioles, which is really something else. So the Detroit Tigers and the Royals have cleared the way by wiping away 2 of the monster teams in baseball
And
this
the Mets
year.
have Stanek, and they have Mattoon. And Mattoon choked for them last night. I'm like, oh, oops.
I don't know who Mattoon is.
Phil. He played.
Oh, Matan.
Matan, whatever his name is.
Matan. I was like,
Mattoon, whatever his
what?
name
He's
is.
the one that fractured his hand in the before the playoffs for the 22 World Series.
This guy
I
shows
think.
no emotion. He looks like an android. He's just like,
He looks like an
Matan.
android.
was that guy you guys watch Data?
Data on Star Trek?
Yeah, it kind of looks like him.
So we'll see what happens.
funny.
If you care about baseball. If not, we go all Texans all the time. CJ Stroud, happy birthday to you today, CJ Stroud. Your Time Magazine's phenom, one of the top 100 people to watch in entertainment, sports, and all things amazing and greatness. So we're very proud of CJ Stroud. So go Texans. I don't even know who we're playing next. I got to get on board. Guess I got to start wearing Texans shirts again.
Yep.
I got to buy a new one with the new logos. I don't have anything.
Now, do you buy the jersey with a name on the back, or you just keep the back blank?
Texans gave me a jersey.
I was just going to say that. We had the Texans jersey.
But
We have those.
They put my own name on it. They put Eric. I don't like that.
Yeah, they put Special K on mine. I ain't mad at that.
They put Sam on mine,
I
obviously.
don't want that.
I thought it was
Sam
cool.
with an S?
Yes.
What else is going to be spelled with?
It's an inside joke.
You had to be there.
Yeah, you had to be there, Rula.
I'm Sam with an S.
Sorry, that was deep in radio.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. We play the Bills next, Sunday, October 6th at noon. We're taking on the Bills here.
Oh, nice.
So now it'll be those times where it's like, people want to go to that game.
Like, what are the Bills? Like a duck bill or like
No,
a
the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
Well, who's
They
Bill?
have like
Who the hell is Bill?
craziest
the Bison.
Makes a good
fans.
point. Why didn't they call the Bisons then?
Right.
Yeah.
There's a whole story about it, Kev. I think we talked about it a couple of years ago because somebody did ask that question, why they called the Bills.
Who's
There's a
Bill?
whole story about the Buffalo
They need to do
Bills.
like a documentary origin of sports
Oh my
teams.
gosh.
I'm sure they do. It's like the
Yeah, just-
Packers. Why do you think they're called the Packers?
Or the Cheeseheads.
Meat Packers.
Kevin, to
Oh.
answer your question, Buffalo Bill's name comes from the famous Western frontiersman Buffalo Bill Cody.
There you go.
That's why they are called the Buffalo Bills. Oh my God, they were called the Bisons, Eric. The Buffalo Bisons were founded in 1946.
Huh.
Doesn't sound as good.
The
Buffalo Bisons.
Yeah.
I don't know. It still rolls
Those
off.
Wait a second.
Bills.
Those
Well,
things
they
are
couldn't
mean.
be that. Bison and buffalo are pretty much the same. It'd be weird. The buffalo buffaloes.
Yes, I do like those burgers. Buffalo meat burgers are
What did
good.
old Buffalo Bill do anyway? What
He's
was
a frontiersman, that's all. You go
famous for?
deep dive that yourself.
I mean, the frontier of New York.
dumb question amnesty?
That's true.
Oh, right?
I mean, if
Yeah,
they
we're
played
the
in Arizona.
Buffalo up in New York State.
Draw, partner. We're in Times Square.
He hunted bison.
In New York?
Hunted bison.
Yes, I
New
mean,
York.
there.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
don't-
Didn't everybody?
Well, America was just overrun with it. I mean, there was, until
By
we-
that time, that part of New York maybe was the frontier. Nobody really
That's true.
expanded.
That's true.
Especially if I was living then. I would never leave my little borough. I'd be,
Yeah.
Burrow. Then they don't.
I'd be staying
I
around.
will just stay around and
Yeah, I don't feel like
Yeah,
it.
I'm
hug
good
in the
here.
cold. That's all.
Worst.
American Frontier Legend. You can look it up yourself, Kevin.
Okay, I'll
Coming up
keep track.
next, what is something that makes a house look cheap? There are items you could put in your house and you think it's a lot of decor is nice, but then if you do it too much, you're like,
If you have a toilet seat cover, like a
fur,
furry
carpet,
one,
like
or
carpet.
like the
If you have a
shag carpet.
that looks cheap to
If
me.
you have a Buffalo Bills framed anything, that's stupid. That's cheap.
One of our radio friends, if you have too many framed words in your house,
Uh-oh.
I got rid of
has
those a couple years ago,
framed
y'all.
words
Okay? Live, laugh,
phrases.
love, and no regret.
but it's on your body
if you have
forever
more
as a
than
tattoo.
three,
No regret, Rula.
How about like
Did you spell regret?
baskets
Wrong.
on the
Not
wall?
even a single letter.
So we can take your calls
What's wrong
at
with
833.
baskets?
My mom would put those little like bread baskets on the wall and stuff.
I say chickens.
Yeah, like
chicken
farmhouse.
That's just rural.
Porcelain. Doesn't like
That's just
chicken.
old timey.
Yeah.
Okay, 833-390-KRBE. What is something somebody can put in their house, but it makes it look cheap? We'll talk to you next on the Rule and Ryan Show.
More of the Rule and Ryan Show.
The question is, what can a person have in their home that makes it look cheap? Now, everything is in moderation. That's fine when it's in moderation. But if you put too much of this stuff in your house, you're like, oh, okay, it's kind of hokey. It's kind of looking cheap. I'm going to go with one of our radio friends. Eric and I were talking about this yesterday after the show. Said if you have too many framed words or phrases in your house, and you know what they're talking about, right? Like I call them the Hobby Lobby art, which I do get suckered in sometimes. At Hobby Lobby, they have some of the cutest stuff. But I always think to myself, would I actually buy this and put this on my wall, or I'm just enjoying looking at it? Like all the emo cows, they're so cute. But why so many pictures of that? So many
The ones when they're in
canvas
the
framed.
bathtub or like in the shower. I'm like, okay, Sam, you really don't need those.
Or even just Sam, there's emo cow is like the art now because it's like the canvas that's wrapped around the wood frame, and it's of the emo cows in the pastures. And I'm like, who has these up on their walls in their house?
I only have two, to be fair.
At least that two's not bad.
And where
I
are
feel
they?
One's in the guest bedroom because I'm
Okay.
doing kind of like a girly cowboy vibe.
A girly
So,
cowboy.
because
Girly cow.
I don't like color in my house. Like I'm a
Cowgirl?
total beige mom. So I'm kind of doing like a little bit of baby pink and yellow with my emo cow because I have this like baby pink cowgirl hat and that kind of stuff. So
Got
it's
it.
like with the emo cow, I'm trying to do like a little bit of a cowgirl, kind of like Texan vibe in that room.
Okay.
And then the other one is in my guest bathroom right now, but I need to redo that
Emo
one.
cow.
Hey, you know what? You do you. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, honestly, I'm sure people would go into my house and say, oh, that looks tacky. But it's just about what makes you feel comfortable.
Well, that's not the
Right.
topic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, what is
Brian's been all
tacky?
zen over here. Well, okay, on to the next thing then. Well, it's up to you. It's about your opinion about how you feel.
What
I'm
you
sure you
think.
would go in and you would see something, right?
and go,
you would go somewhere and
ew.
you have an opinion about everything.
Yeah.
You would have an opinion about something if you went somewhere.
Too
What
many
would you
video
see?
games in this house.
Oh, that would
Too
be
many
me.
stand-up video games.
That would be me.
Like my parents had
Too
a
much
giant
color.
wooden fork and a wooden spoon. I don't know why we had that up there.
Yep.
Where was it?
On a wall.
On the wall. A
Probably
wooden fork
your
and a
dining
wooden
room? Or was it not in the dining room?
It was decor.
We didn't have one. It was like a
Breakfast table
the kitchen,
area?
breakfast
Kitchen, yeah.
table area.
But Eric, that
It's
was
kind of the same.
really kind of
above it.
that was kind of the times, though, wasn't it?
remember
Just like the Hobby Lobby stuff is now.
Yeah.
And my mom had a thimble collection, like a little,
Oh,
looked like a
that's-
little house, like a little wooden house.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
on
a
the
Made out
wall.
of
knack
thimbles.
With
display.
little thimbles in there from like
Why
Vegas.
was that a thing?
I don't know why thimbles were like a tourist attraction, like the little
Spoons.
spoons
With those
and the
two.
thimbles of different places around
Yeah,
the
why
world.
was that a thing? That's
But Eric,
so
let's be
funny.
fair to your mom.
Cheap.
God rest her soul.
Oh.
You guys legit lived on a farm, and this was farmhouse rustic decor
Yeah,
Yes.
before
it's
its
rural.
time.
And we had popcorn ceiling.
You always talk
That's
about that,
common.
and
That stuff
I
looks-
and I
Yeah.
don't know if that's
That
still
looks
a
cheap.
thing.
People
Is
still have
anybody?
that.
Do they still build like that? No.
No.
Well,
Like
they
apartment
texture the
complexes that
ceilings
get
now.
built, they have
It's-
texture ceilings.
Yeah, they have textured
Yeah.
ceilings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the walls are
Eric
sometimes
also hates
textured.
chickens. If you have a chicken in your kitchen, he hates that. But is it tacky? Is it not classy? Or that's just not something you think is just,
I just think it looks
you
cheap.
just don't
Wasn't the
like it?
chicken always in like a circle?
Mine was like, it was like
a circular.
No, like an actual ceramic chicken on top of
Oh,
your
a
fridge.
ceramic
Yeah.
chicken.
Yeah, like a
Oh.
ceramic chicken on top of your fridge.
I know what to get Eric
What,
for
a-
Christmas.
what about
Yeah, I know,
plastic
right?
on your couch? You know how some grandmothers would
Oh.
keep plastic
Oh,
on
yeah.
the couch?
100%.
Yeah,
That
if
is
you're not, if you're over 80, you can do that.
Yeah.
dude, let me tell you something, Kevin. That
Makes
is
no sense.
I have a toddler, guys.
I don't know.
Okay?
If that, I know.
when you
I know.
needed-
That's when you were thinking, Sam,
Yeah.
that actually was a good idea.
Right.
Because growing up,
Knew
going to
something.
visit my family in Chicago, my aunt, we always thought it was like the Greek aunt way of doing furniture was to cover it in plastic.
Yeah.
And we went to Tasso's aunt lives in Ohio, and we went there last year for her birthday. And he goes, "Man, I guess all those years of covering it with plastic really did keep it new."
Yep.
Because her daughters have since removed the plastic, and this couch from 1968 looks brand new.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about wood paneling in those offices?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Unless you're a hunter, like I feel like a cabin or something, or
It was
you have deer
very
heads in there. Then
Yeah.
It was very, very popular in the 70s and I think really the 80s.
And
because
that wood paneling is different than the 90s and 2000s.
it
wood
really is,
paneling.
Rolla. It really
Yeah.
is because I remember last year or maybe the year before I went back to my old hometown and my dad's office was all boarded up and I asked the owners, I said, "Can I go in there?" And I walked in and it had the wood paneling on the walls. Nothing had been changed.
Doesn't that bow or it kind of sticks away from the wall?
It warps.
Yeah.
We've purchased houses before that have that, and it's actually very easy to remove because it comes off in sheets. And a lot of times there's drywall behind that, and it's real easy to just repaint that.
They
But
just
that's
put
what I'm
little
saying, Kev,
tack nails in to hold it up.
the 70s and 80s wood paneling you're talking about easy to remove, way different than the actual wood paneling that houses in the 90s and the 2000s have been built with. Because these are entire walls of solid wood that have been put up. And so when I go to like a hard.com and I look at houses and I see entire rooms of all this wood paneling, I'm thinking, man, that has got to be so painful to think, oh, that great wood's got to come down because you don't like that decor. But the people that put it up were like, this was really expensive when we did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
you
could
can
always
paint
drywall or paint on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you plaster over it and then fill in all of the little ruts and divots and everything like that. There's a way.
But you know what? It wasn't.
Make it white.
It wasn't a cheap thing
Expensive.
because what Roula said, going to HAR, and I admit it, I do it too. It's just kind of fun to look at
See what the most expensive houses look like
the big
inside.
mansions,
Yeah.
and you see some of these big mansions, and they've got like the rooms that are made all out of wood and
Even
wood
the
paneling.
ceiling. Even the ceiling has wood paneling for like
Dark
the studies,
wood.
Oh,
A lot
yeah.
of those rich people are older, so they have different tastes than somebody that's in their 30s.
Oh yeah,
But Eric, here's the question.
they don't want to update.
Gray and light colors have been the thing for quite some time in the taste of what people want now. So when our kids are in their 20s, is it going to be like, oh, I remember when everybody was gray, everybody wanted gray.
Kevin and I were talking about this 2 days ago about how do you think people in 20 years ago be looking at us and going, why do they have these kitchens in the living room?
Oh yeah,
Why do they have
open concept.
Open concept. Why do they do this?
Yeah.
Your food's going to smell because that's why they did it back
So
then.
you think that we're going to go back to compartmentalized?
It always changes. There's always because we
What's
can't all
always
be
new
happy this
again?
way. Someone's going to come up with some new way to do something, right?
Think of every show on HGTV you've watched for the last how many years. We really want open concept. We need that wall to go away.
What's that room that no one uses? The
the front living room?
That front room?
The formal living room.
living room. What the hell's that?
That's a
60s and
waste of
70s and 80s
space.
houses were built with a formal living room. And people in the 2000s, the 2010 pluses, want to remove that wall to make the whole space open. So from the kitchen to the front door, you can pretty much see.
My pet peeve is the houses when you walk in and it goes all the way up. So I mean, the ceilings are like 500 feet.
Vaulted ceiling.
Vaulted, and then you got then the kids upstairs. They can look over the banister and stuff.
Oh,
To
yeah,
me, it's
yeah.
like if they're watching TV there, you can hear it down there, or people. Can,
It's like a loft concept.
Yeah, like
where
it's
a half
everywhere.
wall.
Everyone
I
has it.
like the loft concept.
You won't like it when your son wants to, like, say you want to talk about your son something. Maybe he's got something going on. You want to talk about your husband.
And he's up there hearing you.
You can hear everything.
But I think what you're talking about
And you lose a whole
specifically,
room.
Eric,
That could be a whole room.
yeah, is an entire. I've
Yeah,
seen
but it
like
looks weird closed off.
Well, no, I call them runway.
Wait, a house looks
balconies.
weird if it has an actual.
He's talking
The
about.
wall?
He's talking about Santiago's upstairs, or my kids are upstairs, and they're looking down over the rail into the living room. That's what
Yeah.
he's talking about.
Yeah.
Versus when you first walk in the house, and it's just the natural order of the staircase going up, and you can see the top landing, but there's still separation once you walk through the house.
Right,
This is like
okay.
if there's like a. I
Mine's
call
like
it the runway
separation.
balcony is what I call it.
Oh, yeah, we don't
I don't
have
think it's even a real phrase. That's just what I call it. Runway
Right.
balconies, where you can peek into one, like down into the living room from the upstairs,
like
and
you
just sit
lose
there and kind of just watch.
Square footage in your house. You could have an extra room and make more money.
It's not logical.
Yeah.
I hope my
You know,
husband.
it's
how you
like a
supposed to-
waste of space.
And how are you supposed to clean that window that's way up there? You got to get one of those huge ladders.
Eric, somebody on text said things that make your house look cheap. Bourbon walls.
I was waiting for that. I was like, oh, my bourbon.
Walls full of bottles and bottles and
Somebody's
bottles
going
of
after
bourbon.
Well,
you,
if
Eric.
they're empty, that's next
Oh,
level
yeah.
trashy.
Yeah.
But his are
empty
all full
bottles
and
up.
they're all very expensive.
It's like, what are you showing off
very
that you
expensive.
are
You
an
drank it?
alcoholic?
Alcohol problem.
Somebody has a problem over
It's all
here.
gone.
Thanks for that.
Now, here we go. Time for the Roula and Ryan Show on KRBE to tell you what's going down in H-Town.
Can we just breeze over the Astros and their season being over?
Because we're all in denial still. For those just waking up, yeah, there's no more baseball.
May have been Bregman's final game in an Astros uniform.
AJ Hinch,
crazy.
he started it, and then he finished it on us.
Ooh.
That's what they're all saying. He helped.
Couldn't win in our own box again.
And that place-
juice box.
they need
Couldn't
to
win
bring
in our
in-
own house again twice.
What's that sage stuff? We need to walk around with sage and
Let's
just.
put some good energy in the room.
Somebody in the comments yesterday
Can't
on
win here.
Astro's Instagram was like, we need to bring the nuns back and have them cleanse the juice box. Honey,
Bless this
the
mess.
nuns were at the games when we lost in the juice box. When Mattress Mac would bring them in there.
7 in a row we've lost at home.
All right. Next story. A 14-year-old Willis High School student was arrested yesterday and charged with making a false alarm after shouting, I have an AK-47 in my bag in the hallway between classes. Multiple students and faculty reported the student immediately following the incident, and now he's been transported to a juvenile detention center. We have just
What school is
talked
that?
about this. Willis High School. We were just talking about this last week when we had Rania in from Crime Stoppers. If you even make a threat, you are going to be in trouble. You cannot. It's like what you said, Roula. You can't be in an airport and say bomb.
Right. You can't.
You
talk about
cannot
guns
make
in
those kind of
schools.
statements, even if it's a joke.
And if you see something,
Nobody
say
finds
something,
it funny.
kids. You see something, say something. You hear something, say something.
Okay. Only about 61% of Houston, Texas's sidewalks are considered good. So this is according to Houston's Public Works Department. The city has about 142 miles of sidewalks, about the distance from Houston to Austin. Nearly 40% of the sidewalks in our town are said to be in poor
Have you ever seen like
condition.
the Bel Air area? That they must have passed a law that when you built a house, you had to put a sidewalk in front of it, and then they must have gotten rid of the law because there's a sidewalk.
houses
It'll
do,
just go for
yeah.
like 4 houses, then stop. It
Yeah.
stops
Doesn't make any sense.
It's a zoning thing. I don't know. It's weird.
because they had it at one time and stopped, and then they brought it back when you built. You had to build a sidewalk, and then
weird.
it doesn't go anywhere. Then it's ridiculous.
What would get me was when my daughter was really little, when we go trick-or-treating, you always had to look down at the sidewalks in my neighborhood because they were uneven.
Oh, I hate that.
They would go up and down, and it was just a tripping hazard.
Is that why we can't have basements? Because things
Well, it
settle
was the
too
flooding.
much,
It was
and
the flooding, I think. Because
The water table's too high.
the ground sucks here for.
The
clay-based
water
soil.
table?
Yeah, water
It's called
table.
the table?
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
know
how high
that.
the water is underground.
Huh. I had no idea.
There you go.
So I learned something new today.
The more you know.
The water table.
And knowing is half the battle.
And it's CJ Stroud's birthday today. Happy birthday,
Happy
CJ
birthday,
Stroud. Let's
CJ.
get a win on Sunday against the Bills.
The bison. The bison.
Okay, my friends, it is Thursday, which means somebody is having questions in their relationship and they've come to us to figure it out. It's called Roula and Ryan's Roses. We're going to call up the person's mate, ask questions, see if they can send, we'll send roses to someone. And a lot of times it's not the right person. What's going to happen today? We'll find out next on the Roula and Ryan Show.